This is Off the Cuff. Hi y'all, Steve Merritt here, Off the Cuff. Just revisiting forecasting weather, compare and contrast, and also talk about Flash AI. Anyways, back in the day when I went through weather forecasting school, we used persistence, climatology, looked at the sky, used barometer settings, did now casting. That was pretty much the rule of thumb for when weather conditions changed to a point where we had to amend our forecasts, and we had no idea what was going on because we didn't have time. We took observations, radar observations, LAWCs, but because of duty priorities, sometimes we just didn't get a good handle on why things were changing so drastically where we had to amend the forecast. We used forecasting models, NGM as I mentioned earlier, and then we had a bunch of analog pieces of equipment that we used, as well as an ensemble of forecasting tools like dial-up radar, satellite imagery, so on and so forth. As we roll forward, we're going to talk about the TAF, Terminal Airdrome Forecast, which is indicated by the raw TAF, and then the raw METAR are your observations. So as we indicated earlier, the TAF is written out when hour by hour or for the entire 24 hours. These are what your weather conditions are going to be. Anytime that a weather condition changes, such as ceiling, visibility, rain stop, rain start, thunderstorm start, stop, that is a change that is required in the forecasting TAF to indicate when that change is going to occur, when it starts, when it ends, and when it increases or decreases. There'll be another becoming. So I've had as many as 13, 14 lines easily on a busy weather day. I've had as little as one line when you have high pressure dominating the area. So what we also do or have done is operational verification. So we marry up our TAF and our weather observations and make sure that anytime the weather observation passes through one of those special or local criterias, we do a before the fact amendment versus an after the fact amendment to indicate a current weather forecast for that terminal. And again, it's difficult to chase the weather with busy tasks like pilot briefings, radar observations. Maybe you have to take and do a weather observation for the weather observer. So trying to stay on top of weather before the fact amendments during a busy day is sometimes impossible. Not to mention, anytime you have to take and issue a weather warning advisory, and so on and so forth. The weather station back in the day was very busy at times, and you were the only duty forecaster, and or you might be also doubling as weather observer if something happens. So anyways, just wanted to cover TAFs, weather observations, as we move forward in our compare and contrast and talk about Flash AI. Now we get to talk about my favorite subject, forecasting software. It's always entertaining to watch our local meteorologist use the forecasting software that they're given to give us the weather forecast for the next 7 days. When you have to question when they can't really determine an outflow boundary. And then they also have some questions about the differentiation between fog and haze. Usually for fog, your temperature dew point spread has to be 5 or less. Haze, come on, folks. I really have to question the integrity and intelligence of somebody that cannot differentiate between fog and haze, or a outflow boundary indicated by radar. So, anyways, forecasting software, it's a good tool, but that aside, you can't let that be your only tool to forecast weather. You surely can't put together a TAF with that amount of detail without having the rest of the tools. So the forecasting software is a good tool. It's based off the weather models, but it's not your only go-to for forecasting weather. So next topic is Flash AI and how it all comes together within that offering. So okay, we're at the end of our compare and contrast and to talk about Flash AI. Flash AI takes and brings everything together that we've talked about. It uses all the tools that we used to use in the base weather station and what I learned as a weather forecaster in forecasting school, as well as the forecasting tools that our folks at our local TV station use. And again, as I stated, that's pretty much based off of the models that are available, like the GFS. So, taking in all that into consideration, we are going to talk about AI, Flash AI to be specific. So what it does, it takes all that data that's generated probably every 3 to 5 minutes and reevaluates using artificial intelligence and machine learning and provides a new forecast, literally a new forecast. And Flash AI is specific for lightning. Now, going forward, as the software and the algorithms grow and the need for different atmospheric phenomena to be forecasted, such as maybe freezing rain, snow, rain, winds, tornadic activity, which is on track to be delivered probably within the next 12 to 24 months. It's all about the data. And it's numerous bits and pieces of data. It could be structured, it's unstructured data. But the algorithms are able to take and use the logic that was programmed to use to come up with new forecasts for, in this case, lightning. Which we haven't done, but I have observed, as previously mentioned in one of my other YouTubes. I've been able to see correlation between wind damage, some hail, and one undocumented tornado in southeast Michigan. Now, to go a little bit further, when Jamie, the COO, was giving me the demo of Flash AI, it was on the day of the Gaylord tornado. And we missed it by 15 minutes. We were actually looking at Flash AI 15 minutes after the fact. And the area in northern lower Michigan was lit up in red, which in my past observations are good indications of the possibility of severe weather. And again, if maybe this was used prior to the touchdown, and maybe there could have been more than 5-minute lead time for the residents of Gaylord. I don't know. It's a guess. It's an assumption based on my observations that there is a possibility that there might have been some more lead time. So anyways, in closing, compare, contrast, and how Flash AI uses the data. It uses all of it. It doesn't rule out anything that isn't collected. Now, I don't know if PIREPs are included into the mix or not, but it could be. I don't know. So anyways, until next time, maybe the next outbreak of severe weather, as our severe weather season is drawing to a close, we'll catch you on our next broadcast. Have a great day and a great weekend, especially for the Woodward Dream Cruise.
That's all, folks.